So now with the Modern Warfare 2 beta wrapped up, this was our last time interacting with the game until the full release, and Infinity Ward has a little bit less than 1 whole month to make changes, listen to feedback, and, make adjustments to make this game as optimal as possible when it does come out. However, there are a bunch of changes that we do know for sure are happening behind the scenes, so for some of these, we can at least rest assured that they are being looked at. There are some changes that, I think the overall community would like to see, but we're not sure if they are, addressing those, and we'll get to those shortly. But we also have some leaks about some content that is coming that was not part of the beta, but will be present in the full game. It's going to be a pretty interesting video today, and we're going to be talking about everything you need to know. So in some good news, Infinity Ward at least did fully address the situation with lobbies disbanding. This is something basically the whole community seems as a negative thing, and they've said that lobby disbanding for the full game is going to happen less often, and the UI is going to reflect that when it does. Now, the wording is a little bit confusing, but I'll explain what I think that means. But first, we must take a moment real quick and thank today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Dragon City. This is a free-to-play mobile game where you can collect over 1,000 unique dragons with varying rarities and elements to forge your empire. You'll need items like food, gold, and gems to level up and customize your city. You can create new dragons by breeding 2 existing ones and feed them to help them become stronger. Once you've done that, you can train them, teach them new attacks, and gain experience. When you're ready, you can challenge your friends in PvP battles and try to be the best. You can join an alliance, work with other Dragon Masters to be the best to ever do it. There's always weekly mini games and daily prizes, so there's always something to do. And most importantly, the Walking Dead characters are making an appearance now, with iconic characters such as Negan, Maggie, Rick, Daryl, and so on. You can get all the exclusive new characters by downloading this game using the link down below in the description. You'll also get 15,000 food, 30,000 gold, and the epic zombie nature dragon. So get started today using the link down below or the QR code on screen. So what I think Infinity Ward means with this tweet is that lobbies are going to disband less often, and the players that will stay in your lobby will appear in the UI as they always have. Maybe they'll still be in some kind of social, pre-game lobby like we've had in previous Call of Duty games. Let's not get it twisted. Older COD games still would disband lobbies very occasionally, usually due to connection issues, or if somebody backed out of a game and it would change host. There would be instances in which lobbies would disband. But from Modern Warfare 19 on, this pretty much happens after every game for no apparent reason, and for MW2 it happened virtually every game. And this is it's less to do with just the skill-based matchmaking part of it. And for me, and I think a lot of the community, the whole main disadvantage of lobbies disbanding is it kills any social element of this game. It's the big problem with Halo Infinite as well. In fact, Infinity Ward would be wise to learn from 343's mistakes with Halo Infinite as being an anti-social game in some sense. So I think them addressing this and making lobbies disband less often, increasing the chance for social interaction, is actually a really positive change. However, the wording of this tweet did kind of bother me a little bit. It's like we're working on changes to increase the chances of that. It feels like they don't have complete control over it, which is the way the wording of that tweet implies, which we know is not really true. So I'm not really sure why they worded it that way, but hopefully this does increase the social element of this game. However, they have flat out addressed lobby disbanding, but we have not heard anything about skill-based matchmaking, so I'm not going to get into that too much. We'll see what happens when the full game releases. But let's talk about perks. They did actually change the perk system in the second weekend of the beta, but it looks like also for the full release of the game, they're going to be fine-tuning it as well. Basically, the change they made from weekend 1 to weekend 2 was they doubled the speed at which you acquire your bonus perk and then your ultimate perk. And I don't know if they're going to have those quick speeds from weekend 2 in the full game, but I do suspect it's going to be faster than weekend 1. That's all I can say. Also, in addition to perk tuning, I would expect a lot of perks to be reworked in how they function. Maybe some perks may even be rearranged into different categories, and so I do think the perk system will be at least moderately different to what we've seen in the beta for the full release of the game. We already know they're making some massive overhauls and changes to that as we speak. Now, here's a big one. Unfortunately, since we have heard direct feedback about lobby disbanding, we have not heard any feedback in regards to the minimap situation. And again, I am torn on this one because in some sense, I've gotten used to the minimap system in this game and I quite like it. However, I really do empathize with people who want the traditional minimap back. Personally speaking, I would just like to try out both versions. You know, we've played the beta, we understand how the new minimap system works, and we've got some experience with it. But I would like to see as well how this game plays with a traditional minimap. I just want to compare and contrast the two. And the only feedback in this situation we've really gotten is Infinity Ward in Weekend 1 saying that they're keeping the, you know, minimap system that we have currently, and they have no plans to change it to the traditional minimap as of right now. We'll see how that changes. But again, I do think to some extent it's a situation of the people who like the new minimap are silent about it and they're just enjoying the game, and the people that dislike the minimap system are the ones that are the most vocal about it. So I think that there is a little bit of bias about like the input they're getting, but I don't know how torn the community is really on this whole situation, but we'll see how they figure it out going forward. In some more good news, though, it looks like we are getting a real reduction to visual noise. Now, I gave IW a lot of credit for the map design having much less visual noise than Modern Warfare 19, and that is still true, but as we mentioned, the visual feedback with, like, you know, recoil and smoke, all that stuff, is a little bit excessive in this game, and they basically have come out and said that, yeah, maybe it's a little bit over the top, it's a little bit much, we're going to be reducing that for the full game, and that is really nice. So really good stuff there. I think that'll just help people enjoy the core gameplay that much more. Also, in regards to kill streaks, I do think that there's a little bit of tuning coming to these. In particular, I expect the score and kill requirements for a few of these to be reworked, such as the stealth bomber. I think that needs to be lowered a little bit. There's a few that I would raise and drop maybe by a kill or two, but that is for Infinity Ward to ultimately decide. I don't know if we're going to get any new kill streaks added. We'll wait and see, but I think we have a pretty healthy selection of streaks as at the moment. But keeping on the subject of streaks for a moment, I guess it has been confirmed that the whole chopper gunner not moving situation is in fact a glitch. I don't know why it took them, you know, I guess 2 weeks of the beta to address that. Like, a lot of stuff got fixed in between Weekend 1 and Weekend 2, but that was not one of them. The chopper gunner is fully supposed to be able to move around the map, and that is definitely not intended for it to be stationary, so that will be changing, thank God, but we'll have to wait till the full game to actually play that. Now, this next one is a really important one to me and a lot of you guys, and is such a minor thing. It's like a cosmetic detail, but it makes such a big difference to the game. It wouldn't affect the balance or anything at all, so this should be one of the easiest decisions to make. But changing, finally, the XP kill pop-ups, they mentioned somewhere how they want to make them more visible, but I don't know if that's going to be a reduction in, like, visual noise to make them more visible, but I really think, like, these plus 100s need to be adjusted. I literally said, make the exact same animation as the Modern Warfare 19 ones. You can see these on screen, but make the, like, color and texture of it look something like this, right? It would fit with the actual theme of the game. I'm not saying you have to use this font, but at least, like, this color scheme or something like that. The font can even stay the same as Modern Warfare, but changing the color scheme and, like, the brightness and the just, like, the pop-up animation of it would look so much better in this game, just from a literal practical standpoint, but just aesthetically fitting the art style of the game. I really think that's such an easy fix to do, and nearly everybody would be on board for that. Another thing that is most likely going to be getting some pretty big tweaks is footstep sounds. You know, everybody has been complaining that footsteps are just entirely way too loud without dead silence. Now, these kind of go hand in hand, so you can't really address one without addressing the other. What I do think is going to happen is dead silence is going to stay a field upgrade, and it will probably remain as it was in the beta for the most part. But I do think the overall footstep sounds, when you're either in tac sprint or regular sprint or even walking, are going to be slightly reduced. I'm not sure by how much per each stance, but I think that they need to be turned down just a little bit, because the main problem is with footsteps being so unbelievably loud, it kind of discourages you from moving around the map. And as I've played more and more of the beta, that has certainly become more true. People have been playing slower, just waiting to hear people, moving around the map, and so it discourages any kind of, like, aggressive play. So I think these need to be reduced. Completely eliminating footstep sounds is not the solution either, but at least I think a moderate reduction of footstep sounds with all stances would be great for the health of this game. Now, since the beta did come to PC, you know, the hackers were able to hack the mainframe and get into the files and discover some things that are coming to the full build of the game. Now, obviously, I can't actually show you guys any of this stuff, but if you're curious to see it, I'll let I'll let your Google and Twitter fingers do some work. But basically, we can at least talk about it. Things such as party games, like Infected, Gun Game, all that stuff will be in Modern Warfare 2 when it releases. Now, the Grand Prix Map, you guys remember this, was a lot of what they were marketing for not only the beta, but the full release of this game. It's like on this racetrack. Now, they have ran into a lot of copyright issues with F1 because they are very strict when it comes to their, copyright handlings. And this map, from what I understand, has been basically completely scrapped. Nobody was actually able to load this map at all. So it may not exist anymore. We're not even sure this is going to be in the full game. If it is, it's going to be a significantly reworked, probably from a visual perspective, than what we have in the game currently. We'll see what they do with it, but there's a good chance we just never see this map at all. However, one thing we will see are day and night variants of parts of Verdansk for presumably Invasion and Ground War. Now, this got added to the beta weekend too. It's like, a lot more of a large-scale experience, and for what it's worth, it was okay. I think it needs a little bit of work, but at least it will be getting a bunch of different maps, and parts of Verdansk being one of them, which is interesting to see. But as far as all major changes and adjustments coming to the core game, that is pretty much it. So let me know what you guys think down below. If there's anything that you feel like Infinity Ward still needs to address before the full release of the game, feel free to leave it in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, though, drop a like. That would be much appreciated. Subscribe if you're brand new around here, and I also do stream on Twitch. You can go follow me. I stream over there. It's a good time. Go follow me. Links in the description. But have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, don't forget to download Dragon City using the link down below or the QR code on screen to get all of your exclusive rewards. Thank you very much to Dragon City for sponsoring this video.